live your life, live the life that you've always wanted to live. And I think that was the worst advice you could give someone. I was choosing food when I was sad, lonely, angry, anxious, any emotion that I wasn't able to articulate or express. I would go to food for comfort. I told myself, if I struggle with this, there must be women out there that struggle with the exact same.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Fat Kid Show, जहाँ हम करेंगे गपशप एकदम ही unfiltered. So if you've been following me from a very long time, you guys know that I've had a massive transformation with the weight loss journey, and life happened and I gained weight all back again. And again, now I'm on the journey of losing weight. So I've got the perfect guest with me. She is gorgeous. She herself had a journey of losing 65 kgs of weight, and she is an emotional eating disorder coach. Welcome to the channel, Natassia D'Souza. How are you doing?
I am very well, thank you. How are you?
I am great. It's great to have you on the show. Firstly, I would really like to congratulate you because losing 65 kgs needs a lot of dedication, and I really salute that. That's
Thank you.
consistency, that's dedication, and that's a lot of patience that's involved.
Absolutely, it is. Thank you. I appreciate it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, as you
sure.
know. But yeah, it's something I'm proud of, but it's a work in progress. I work towards it every single day because it's just like you said, you know, it's one thing to lose the weight. It's a whole other world to keep it off. So yeah, thank you for that.
You know that the losing weight part is still easier than maintaining it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And especially when you deal with emotional eating without realizing that stress is also one of the major factors of weight gain. There, you cannot do anything about it. You just keep on gaining weight without realizing it.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, it's I always tell people losing weight's an easy formula. Eat less, move more, right? But maintaining weight is a change of lifestyle. It's a change of habits. So people usually get on a weight loss journey, including myself. I mean, I've lost the 65 kilos, but after that, I didn't know how to maintain my weight. So I gained 30 kilos back in 6 months. In 6 months, I thought, oh, wow, I can go back to my old lifestyle. But the important part to remember is if you go back to your old ways of eating, your old ways of thinking, your old ways of partying, whatever it might be, you're going to go back to looking the old way as well. And that was something that I wish I would have known on my first journey. But hey, if I didn't, I wouldn't be here today teaching women about that, right?
For sure. And that is why this is super relatable topic to a lot of audience that's watching, and of course to me as well. Today's podcast, we'll take it forward as you are my coach. We talk, we have a conversation. You tell me what things usually people go wrong about and what are the best ways to deal with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Before that, Natassia, what triggered you to lose 65 kgs?
You know what? I have been struggling with weight for a majority of my life, ever since I was a child. I remember my mom would always tell people, you know, or my friend's mom would always tell her, we'll take your luggage, you carry your daughter. Like, she's really heavy, you know? So it was very known to me that I was a big child. Of course, going to school later, being bullied, you compare yourself to your friends, you don't fit in, you're the bigger child. So I always struggled with weight. However, when I was 20, I had gone to a doctor's visit, and I think that was one of the scariest visits because he just told me I have a handful of years left to live. You know, he's like, you have diabetes, you have high blood pressure in your family. He's like, what are you doing to yourself? And I left from there thinking, wow, I really should do something. And I didn't for another 3 months. And then 3 months later, he gave me this sheet of a diet that I put it on the dining table to my mother, and I said, can we just try this? I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's good, but can we just try it? And my mom said, okay. It was a completely carb-free diet, carnivore diet, and I went on it. I did it for about a year and a half, let's say, and I dropped all the weight off. And I still remember going back to my doctor and saying, what do I do now? He's like, now just live your life, live the life that you've always wanted to live. And I think that was the worst advice you could give someone, because to me, live the life meant my diet's over. Like, I can just go and do what I feel and know best. And that hence the weight gain came back. I always acknowledged my journey after that because that's when the real learning came about. For me, then I started realizing how addicted I was to food, how obsessed I could be with food. I was choosing food when I was sad, lonely, angry, anxious, any emotion that I wasn't able to articulate or express. I would go to food for comfort. And so there was a lot of learning, nutritional training, emotional eating, disordered eating. I'm also trained in cognitive behavioral therapy for eating disorders, trauma linked to eating disorders, because I am a victim of trauma as well. So seeing how I developed these habits as a pattern to make myself feel comfortable was very important for me. And then the work began, understanding how can I not eat if I'm feeling really frustrated right now? How can I sit with those feelings, those emotions? There was a lot of failures along the way. And then along the path, I was able to lose those 30 kilos again and come to the other side. And now, having a greater understanding of it, being trained in the areas that I am, I help women do the same because I told myself, if I struggle with this, there must be women out there that struggle with the exact same. And I'm sure you must
For
have felt
sure.
this as well when you were gaining the weight back.
And you know, the thing is, not a lot of people talk about it. Even if I am facing emotional eating disorder, I would never talk about it.
Yeah,
I would talk about everything that happens in my life, but this part never.
yeah,
I was really ashamed to face the camera again. Okay, I was a content creator back then, and content creation came to me because I lost 50 kgs of the weight. I remember I have a very similar story like you. Ever since while growing up, I have just faced the issues with weight gain. Okay, I would keep on gaining weight. My appetite was zero. Literally, I would skip my breakfast, my lunch, and just eat dinner. So I belong to an Indian family with Indian meals. We have chapati as our main carbohydrate source, and that is what I would eat, like two chapatis or two fulkas, and that is it. But I kept on gaining weight. So I remember, like, even in school, I would go put myself on a diet, but that wouldn't be consistent. And back then, because of no social media, we didn't have knowledge about it.
yeah,
That was the biggest thing. And whatever knowledge I would get was from my mom, and my mom would watch some YouTube channel or on TV, drink hot water all day, or drink this, drink that, drink amla juice, drink neem juice, etc. And you know, I was always growing up, I've always been stressed about my weight. Even if I'm very successful in my life in terms of my career or having a husband, family, etc., I have always been stressed about my weight. That is consciously or subconsciously, it's in my mind. I feel guilty when I eat. Literally, it is that. So what happened is I ended up going to the gym. Okay, for I took a membership of 1 year. I went like twice, and then suddenly, and this is not the first time. Okay, this before that, multiple times I've taken memberships, but I did not go. But this is during my school days. During college, this 1 year I took membership. I went like twice. And then after that, once the membership expired, I took my mom again. I want another membership. And then the guy, the trainer who was there, he was the sweetest, and I really respect him. He's like, Reshma, how many times have you been to the gym in the past 1 year? I said twice. And then he's like, why do you want a membership? You're just wasting mom and dad's money. And that really triggered me. He's like, I'm not giving you a membership. And imagine he's getting money out of it. And he said, no, I'm not giving you membership. And then I'm like, I will prove myself that I'll come to the gym. He's like, come for 30 days. I see you work out every single day. Then we talk about membership. And this triggered me, put me into dedication. I started to lose weight. Then I got into powerlifting. I started eating right. I knew what to eat. And then suddenly, my life changed because my dad told me to move to UAE. I didn't have friends. And back then, I injured my lower back as well, L5, S1. I got recently operated with that. And that's it. My life changed. I went into depression. And then suddenly, it was like, you have to get married. It was an arranged marriage. But I didn't know what I'm doing. I didn't have friends around. I didn't have my life. I didn't have driving license because I was like a bird in Mumbai. I would go anywhere and everywhere.
yeah.
So all of this made me gain weight back again. And now I'm at a position where I don't know what to do. I have
Yeah.
forgotten what I've done. I've literally, and that really makes me so full of emotions and so much stressed every time I think about it. But I know the struggle.
I mean, look, I first of all, thank you for sharing, and I empathize, and I hear similar stories to this from women almost every single day,
Yeah.
and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because regaining weight back after you've put in all that effort, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to look at those pictures. It's hard to look at those videos. A part of you, even though it was life came in the way of everything. In your times of when you're alone, you ask yourself, how could I let this happen?
Yeah.
How could I let myself go to this degree? And I think there's a lot to say here when it comes to an individual's attachment with food, yourself included. That if if someone was always using food as a coping mechanism, always, if their weight was always on the topic of discussion on the dining table in the evening, then when life stressors come your way, you will go back to what you know best.
Yeah.
You will go back to your coping mechanism. It would be the same if it was alcohol, gambling, scrolling on social media, or shopping. It would be the exact same coping mechanism because now life is getting to you. It's stressful. It's a lot of changes. It's newness. It's loneliness. It's, arranged marriage, marrying a partner, someone I don't know, living with someone. It is a lot to handle. Combine all of that together, you will go back to what you know best. And so there was something really key that you said. You said, I'm lost. I don't know where to start. But there's also a lot of beauty in that because right now, the ground is yours, right? It's not about reliving the past because the past is in the past. You were a single woman then, you lived in a different country then, and the journey that you need to start now is very different. So you need to build a formula that works for you, build a life, build a mindset that works for you based on who I am today, who Reshma is today, with a husband living in Dubai, and almost forget about that life. Because here's the thing, as successful as that was, if the deeper issue was not handled to its core, it will always come back. It's the main reason why people gain weight. It's the main reason why anything happens to us in life, right? Things in our life will keep coming back until we learn the full lesson, until we can fully understand what lesson are you trying to teach me here. And that's exactly what happened in your
Yes,
situation,
for sure.
So something that I would really like to ask you is, what does day to day look like for you now? If you were to look at your day, for example, where do you think it goes wrong?
I think more of it is really feeling tired from my corporate life. I leave home at 7, I come back at 7. That's my take on. I have the habit of sleeping at 10 o'clock. So I remember I would come home, cook Indian meal and eat that. I feel that my eating pattern is really wrong. Some days I have breakfast, some days I don't. Some days I have lunch, some days I don't. But dinner is always there for me. So coming home, cooking 8:30. By the time I'm on bed is 10 o'clock. I know this 7 to 10 is the toughest time for me and a lot of people who are watching. How do we manage once we are home? As a housewife, how do I manage cooking? But recently, I decided to get a cook for myself so that when I'm at home at 7, I'm able to eat by 7:30 and I've got time till 10 o'clock for
Yeah.
myself to relax and everything. How do I manage that? Now with workout, as I said, again, I'm on the path of weight loss journey. I've been waking up at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, 5 to 6:30. I am getting myself to the gym, but now I'm also super conscious about working out in the gym. That place feels like alien to me. I feel that I don't fit into that place, though I was a power lifter. And now I feel super scared to even walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes thinking people are going to judge me. And
Yeah.
that's definitely very big part of a lot of people's weight loss journey.
Absolutely. When I first started losing weight, I joined a gym just like you. So I'd been paying for it month on month on month. But this time something felt different. So I said, let me go to the gym. And I walked in, it was a ladies section, and the girls there started laughing at me.
Yeah.
And so I left and I cried so much that day. And I remember telling my sister, I said, I'm actually trying now. Before I wasn't trying. Now I'm trying and people are laughing at me. And I never went back. I never went back. all I did was walk, right? I walked around the neighborhood, I walked at home, back and forth, because the one thing people want, a lesson learned, people are cruel, right? People can be very cruel, number one. Number two is, you can tell an individual, don't care, put your blinders on, but to some degree, you will feel self-conscious. So there's a level of comfort that needs to get, you need to get used to that environment, let's say. In the time being, however, the focus should be on nutrition. Because at the end of the day, weight loss is 80% nutrition, 20% exercise. Will you get back to being a power lifter again? Maybe. Or you could just be the healthiest version of yourself. You'll only know that as the time plays out. So, as far as working out goes, the advice I would give you is take it slow, take it easy. I would even start with something as simple as 5,000 steps a day. Whether you do that at home, whether you do that when you wake up in the morning around your house, at the beach, whatever that is, and build the consistency, because the consistency over the volume is important, right? As a power lifter, for you, you're thinking volume. I need to get to that. But right now, we're starting from scratch, absolute scratch, right? And this is the beauty of it. If you're starting from scratch, your body and your mind doesn't know any better. We're like, nope, just start here.
Yeah, but there's always a guilt about, like, this is the weight you could lift, this is the diet you could follow, this is the discipline I had. But now, starting from scratch, there are flashbacks of memories. And getting into weight loss journey, this baggage of emotions that come with it leads to emotional eating for me. I wake up, okay, I have a smoothie in the morning, or I have my eggs in the morning. For lunch, I am taking my meals right. I'm having Greek yogurts with nuts. I know nutrition. I always have this guilt that I know nutrition. I know what weight training I need to do. So, but I'm still not able to do it. And that guilt, at the end of the day, I'll be sitting there with my white chocolates.
Yeah.
Literally, this happens. I am so stressed about seeing results so instantly that it is putting me into stress constantly.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is the dilemma of the world that we live in, right? Being in digital marketing yourself, you'll know everyone is so addicted to instant gratification. Lose 5 kilos in 5 weeks, lose 10 kilos in 10 weeks. And what we need to really teach ourselves here is, this is going to be my life. This is not me just losing 10 kilos and that's it. This is going to be my life. And if I'm changing my life, I'm changing my body, my mindset for the rest of my life, this is going to take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? And in the beginning, we need that constant reminders and reassurance that, you know what, it's going to be slow. You know what, no, I have to start. Because what's going to happen is you're stuck in a cycle now, right? I'm not lifting as much as I used to. I'm so upset. I'm so angry at myself. This is now making me emotionally eat. Now I feel guilty about eating. Now I'm going to start the cycle again, right? So we have to, in hindsight, break that cycle entirely and tell ourselves, look, I don't know what I'm doing. That person exists, but right now I don't know what I'm doing. So the key word here, the key word is consistency. Let me just see, and test yourself. Let me just see, can I do 5,000 steps a day? If I can do it for 1 week, great. Next week, let's say if I can do 8,000, right? Or next week I can do 5,000 and maybe 3 upper body workouts, right? It's that consistency. So you're training your brain now is my lifestyle, little bit, and we add to that. Let's go to the food portion now of things, right? So food is very tricky. And I'll break down the aspects of it. So the important things to remember is routine and structure. If the more routine you have, the less likely we are to emotionally eat with the white chocolate, for example, right? And this is why I asked you the question, where is it going wrong with your day? Because most people that struggle with weight, most people that struggle with binge eating, the intention when they wake up is very good. Right? It's very, very good. Everything is planned. What tends to happen is between the hours of 3 to 8 in the night, right? This is where it goes all wrong. This is where the stress starts kicking in. This is where they start leaning onto food for comfort. This is where they want that extra chocolate. This is where they're so frustrated to go home. They stop by the drive-thru, get something to eat, right? This is where it goes wrong. And then what happens is they overdo it. So what was supposed to be maybe a 2,000 calorie meal is now a 3,000, 4,000, maybe even 5,000 calorie meal. Then the intention is, okay, tomorrow I'll start fresh again. Or if
Monday.
it's exactly, if it's Friday, I'll start fresh on Monday. So again, we start from scratch. So we're working with the mind here, right? We're working with the mind who is so used to you putting yourself on diets, so used to telling the same thing that we're going to say, look, for the next week, the next week that I have my 5,000 steps, I eat 2,000 calories. It doesn't matter if it's yogurt, nuts, white chocolate, rotis, not rotis, doesn't matter what it is, but I eat 2,000 calories. Anything. So what we're training ourselves here, we're training our lower brain. Don't be scared. Don't be in fight or flight. It's not another diet. You just have some portion control. We're looking at things, so you're getting the same results, but you're looking at things from a very different angle, you know? And when you look at things from a different angle, why do we end up failing on ourselves? Two reasons. One, your lower brain doesn't like the idea of being on a diet. Two, we go back to our old habits and routines. In order to build a new habit, it cannot be the ultimate change. Like if we're trying to break emotional eating for you right now, the hardest change, Reshma, for you would be to wake up in the morning and say, you know what, because I know all my nutrition and exercise, I can just do that immediately, right? It's like saying, forget about the last few years that you've got married, that you've moved, just go back to what you were. It won't happen, you know? So yeah, I have a follow-up question when it comes to the food, right? And this is, you let me know if it's too personal, it seems too invasive, but it will really help me understand the degree of the emotional eating. So if you have an emotional eating episode, how far can it go? What does it look like for you?
For me, usually my weakest point is white chocolates. And that is what I would go to noon and order it. Before my periods, I have this excuse. If I'm really stressed, I have this excuse. And if anything happens, if it's good, this is the excuse.
Yeah.
And I can eat like 4 to 5 bars of the chocolate. There is no full stop. My husband literally has to say it, but coming from an Indian family and a very typical Indian mentality we have, people don't understand emotional eating as well. So my husband would say, Reshma, what are you doing to yourself? He's been the most supportive to me with every aspect. But when it comes to this, he doesn't understand what I'm going. And for the longest time, Natassia, the main problem was I did not accept the fact that I'm an emotional eater. I will never order a meal of junk food, but it's just this chocolate.
Yeah.
And then if today I do it because I'm stressed, tomorrow I will not be on a diet thinking it's a Wednesday. I don't want to be on a diet.
Yeah.
I'll start again on Monday.
Yeah. It's there's an addiction that happens,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And the difference between men and women, so I coach men, I coach women
Yes.
as well. And the difference between men and women, one, men are less likely to emotionally eat. When they're stressed, when their emotions are, starting to boil up, they're more likely to turn to alcohol and cigarettes. Women are more likely to turn to food. Now, that does not mean men don't, but men also have the capability to separate emotion from doing. They can. They can very easily be like, nope, it's not letting me impact me. I'm going to go. I see it with my partner as well. If he's had a bad day, it does not equal a bad meal.
Yes, yes.
Whereas for us, a bad day equals I need comfort, and that comfort is food.
Yes.
We have taught ourselves that over the years. So when you're working with the mentality that is so, for lack of better words, stubborn, let's say, it needs it when you're down, it needs it when you're up, it needs it when you want care, you want attention. The white chocolate is your saving grace, let's say. So the idea would be to tell yourself you can have white chocolate every single day. Anyone that I speak to, they always have a certain food type or a certain cake or a certain donut, right? For me, it was ice cream that they're addicted to, that they need to. And the fact that they are telling themselves that they have to live a life without it keeps them wanting it even more, right? So what we're doing there is it's a bit of a child's play. It's a child screaming for a lollipop, and the child is going to say, I want it, I want it, I want it. And we're like, no, you cannot have a lollipop. But the minute you have it and you say, yeah, okay, fine, you can have a lollipop a day, the kid's going to say, oh, I don't want it. It's yuck, no.
It's about perception. Changing the perception.
Exactly, right? So what we're going to be saying here is, one, I get to eat anything that I want rather than I need to be on a diet that includes yogurt, nuts, cooked, like a certain amount of things. So it's that freedom of choice. When you give freedom of choice, the brain kind of reacts in a very different way and it says, okay, I can. Because when you're eating your white chocolate, you're constantly thinking, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. So, yes, you love it, but you don't love it in the way that you think you love it, right? It's all you're doing with it is self-soothing.
It's an escape for me.
Exactly. It's a form of an escape because when you love something, when you love your food, you wouldn't approach it in that manner. You wouldn't want it in 2, 3, 4, 5. You wouldn't eat it really fast. You would cherish it. You would honor it. You would respect it. You would savor it. So we assume it's love, but it's not. It's not. It's absolute numbing out. That's what the white chocolate's doing for you. So when something is so addictive and is so mesmerizing, it's hard to just rip it out of your life because you're constantly going to want it. So what the solution there would be, say, all right, every single day, right, I'm having these 2,000 calories, 2,500 calories, and I get to have 4 to 5 pieces of white chocolate every day when I come home, or 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening. What we're also doing here on the sideline is teaching you delayed gratification. Because now, if you tell yourself, I want more, instead of saying, no, Reshma, you're bad, you shouldn't be eating white chocolate, you'll be like, listen, you can have it tomorrow. Tomorrow, we have another 6 chocolates waiting for you, right? Or if you don't have your yogurt in the morning, have 6 plus 4, have 10 pieces, put it in your tracker or however you're tracking your calories. That's how I would approach this mindset switch on the chocolate. Anytime someone is addicted to something, the idea is first to make it believe that it's going to get it. Make it believe that it's not going to be taken away from their life, and then include all your other healthy elements. So,
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just about changing the perception. The more I'm restricting, the more my body wants it.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. But one more thing I have, I don't face with portion control during my regular meals. I am able to control it very well. If it's 2 rotis, I can eat just 2 rotis and that's it. But if somebody is facing portion control, they just don't have control over how much they eat. How would you look at that?
So portion control is a very interesting topic on the base of how you're eating, when you're eating, and how mindful or mindless you are when you're eating your food. If you're eating your food mindlessly, so you're watching TV, you're on your phone, you're reading a paper, you're talking to your friends, it takes 20 minutes for the brain to connect to the stomach that I am full. If in that 20 minutes you're a fast eater, you're able to eat a lot, right? I've seen people eat, myself included, in my binge eating days. I could eat 2,000 calories in 20 minutes. Don't test me, right? So, one, it's about understanding to slowing down that eating process, learning that the more you distract yourself while eating, the more faster you're going to eat and the less time you're taking from feeling full. Another aspect that I like to include for everyone is something called volume eating. Now, volume eating is the idea of you looking at your calories like a bank account and spending those calories on things that are negligible, the things that are very less in calories. I'll give you an example. I like a big breakfast, and I'm not talking like, oh no, I really like a big breakfast. So I like to have eggs and vegetable and things of that sort. So the way I make my breakfast, a full plate of breakfast, I'll take 1 egg, but I will mix it with 6 egg whites, so it gives me volume. It's not enough for me. I still need more, so I'll put 150, 200 grams of cauliflower rice. Gives me even more volume. I like my food spicy. So it's that additional step. It's not about taking away flavor. It's about implementing the volume, but putting in the right flavors. So now, a 1 egg plus 1 egg white, which would have been that much, I've just made it that, but because cauliflower is like 20 calories, because egg whites are so low in calories, I've just made such a big meal. And it's delicious, it's spicy. So there is a phenomena that, because the idea here where portion control goes out, one is mindless. Second is the feeling of liking to feel full. That is something that people struggle with a lot. I like to feel full. I love that feeling where I can just lie down or I can just go to sleep or things of that sort. And so it's about, but I still want to lose weight. How can I feel full and still wanting to lose weight, but not at the same time overeat? So this is that bridge point that I recommend people do, increase your meals, have your chicken, have your roti, have, whatever it is that you desire, but have a big salad on the side. Don't make that your main meal, but use that to fill your stomach up. I do the same thing with chocolates, right? It's a theory that I share with my clients is having what you want with what you need. So say at 4 o'clock, I get a sugar craving at 4. I need something sweet. So it will be I love Galaxy flutes. I love Galaxy flutes. Some days I can have one and I'm good. Other days I have a Galaxy flute and I was like, I want more, right? Can I fit one more? Yes, I could. And some days I do that. But then when I'm on my period or my hormones are unbalanced, I want even more. So I tell myself, okay, Natassia, you want the Galaxy flute, go ahead and have it. But you also want the feeling of feeling full. You don't want a lot of Galaxy. You're seeking fullness now,
Yes.
right? So what I'll do is that same Galaxy flute, I'll have it, but I'll have it with a big bowl of watermelon, or I'll have it with a big bowl of blueberries. So my stomach is actually getting full from that. But at the end, once that's done, now for that space that I have, I get to enjoy my Galaxy flute. So again, we're tricking the brain to believe that it's getting its fullness, but it's also getting its satisfaction from what it wants. But what we do is we do the opposite. I want, and I want a lot, and I'll have it from the wrong item. And now what's 100 calories has now become 1,000 calories. It's the same thing with nuts or cheese. These nuts, chocolate, cheese, they're those kind of items. They can go from 0 to 100 really quickly.
Yes.
Handful of nuts, you can easily have 300, 400. So it's about picking the right item, but also, let's say, tricking your brain to believe it's feeling full with that item as well.
Yeah. I really like this sentence that you've used. See calories as your bank account. And that totally changes your perception. If I want to have like 100 calories, I'd have this or this.
Absolutely.
Where am I investing?
Yeah.
And what do I actually need?
Yeah.
So this perception, I think, is a great one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It really helps, because we look at calories, we look at what we eat, the choices that we make, sometimes very bad, sometimes very good, and sometimes we hate it because we've done it so many times. And what happens is every time you tell yourself, I'm going to start on Monday, every time you tell yourself, I'm going to start a diet and you fail, you lose some trust with yourself.
Yes.
A lot of trust is lost. So what we're working on right now is not to get you back on the best diet and start losing weight. That is the end goal. But it's also to build trust with yourself. And if we're failing on building trust with ourselves on big goals, we need to start building trust with the small goals. This is where that 5,000 steps come in. This is where things such as, the calories, 2,000 calories and things of that sort come in. Because if you can have one full week of, wow, I said I would do 5,000 steps every day and I did it, trust comes back a little bit more. I said I would eat 2,000 calories, not what's in the calories, but I said I would eat 2,000 calories every single way and I did it and I tracked it, a little bit of trust comes. Now, when that trust is built, you're ready for more. But we do it the other way around, right?
Yeah.
We don't wait for that aspect. We break the trust, and then what happens? We set ourselves up for failure. Then we break even more trust. And now we're stuck in this situation where I give up on myself. I don't know where to start, right? And so it takes that moment of recognizing, knowing that I'm actually at certain times being too hard on myself, and I need to look at this from a very different light to start my journey.
I think this is the main thing when somebody's on a weight loss journey. The first thing that they look for is the day I start, I need to start losing weight. And one more thing I would like to add here, that the more you go on the weighing scale, the more trust you keep on breaking with yourself because you do not get instant results. And this is also one more thing that I faced with, and I still do. Every single day in the morning, I'll go on the weighing scale. And this relationship with the weighing scale is too dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it was a time that I would literally drink water, eat my lunch or dinner, and go on my weighing scale, seeing that I gained a kg.
Yeah.
Without realizing that, okay, I drank water, I ate food, let it time to digest. There's a process that goes.
Yeah. Standing on the weighing scale, oh my God, this is such a touchy topic, I think, for women all over the world, right? You either hate it or you love it. And I try to exclude it from people's lifestyles as much as I possibly can. Once a week, That's all it should be, especially when you're first starting out your journey, once a week. After that, maybe when you're 5, 10 kilos away and you're being more observant of things, you can definitely go into that. But once a week is primary because you're subjecting yourself to that scale not moving. You're also subjecting yourself to failure because you know you ate, you know the scale's not going to move, but it's almost like the brain is looking for an excuse that if it's stepped on the scale means my diet's not working, means I can go back to my old habits and my old routines. So we need to take everything out of the way that triggers us, right? The scale, if it's triggering us, once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. I have clients with me that they weigh once every 2 weeks, maybe once even a month, you know? And it's more about building your habits because once your habits, you can check that off, the weight will fall off. The weight will fall off, right? Then you can get into protein and carbs and fats and all of that. But if that consistency is maintained, already you'll start feeling better because the inflammation from the chocolate or the cookies or the donuts, it'll slowly die down. Then even the cravings will die down, right? So then you can kind of move into those aspects of things. And, you know, why are we subjecting ourselves to something that dictates how much work I'm putting in on a daily basis? As women, the amount of hormonal balances, I went for sushi on Wednesday night, okay? I didn't overeat, nothing of that sort. I might have had some soy sauce with my 4 pieces of sushi. And the next day, the scale was up 0.9 kilos, zero point 0.9. Now, if I was someone that was triggered by the scale, which I know a lot of us are, I would have been like, that's it, I can't even eat sushi. What's the point? You know? So there's first learn who you are around food, then build a relationship with the scale. What we tend to do is we allow the scale to dictate our value. If the scale says I've lost weight, I've put in all the effort and I'm great. But if the scale says I've gained or have not moved, then I have no value and I'm not putting in any effort. Therefore, let me go and binge some more.
Yeah, it's all about perception. That's how I would like to conclude this. Also, but you know, if I'm doing everything right, whatever you said, I'm trying to build a healthy relationship with food and working out, showing consistency step by step. How long is the time usually with your clients that they actually start losing weight? So that's like a buffer period or a pilot phase that you have before you actually lose weight.
I would say it takes about 4 to 6 weeks before you start. You 9 times out of 10, I have clients losing weight in the second week. Okay, very easily, just by doing this method that I told you. This is not even getting into the dynamics of weight loss. This is just addressing your eating concerns. 4 to 6 weeks, why I recommend is for you to understand more about when it goes wrong for me, right? Knowing about when it goes right, that you know very well. What you need to learn more about is when it goes wrong. So if I'm eating the white chocolate, how am I feeling right now? How am I feeling after? Right? How did I feel when I walked through the door before I opened the white chocolate? Did I feel stressed? Did I feel anxious? Right? Did I say everything that I needed to everyone? Or am I suppressing my thoughts, my feelings, my words, and I'm eating chocolate to make me feel better? This process takes some time. It takes some learning about yourself. Because what happens, the more you learn about where you're going wrong, the more you'll be able to supplement something better that day. Because eventually you want to get to a point where that period between 8 to 10 or wherever that you're sitting with the chocolate, you're now replacing it with a different dopamine hit, right? Something that's better for you. Maybe it's skincare, maybe it's, a luscious pedicure, maybe it's, watering your plants, something that brings you joy, something that brings you happiness, something that brings you fulfillment and is not keeping you stuck where you were. That switch tends to happen over time, right? And in 6 weeks, you're able to look at yourself as a future version of you and say, wow, I can make this happen for me.
It's about being mindfulness and not running away from the actual thoughts that you have. Yeah, because we tend to do that. Whenever I'm stressed, I say, no, I'm not stressed. I'm just eating it to have fun.
Oh my
This
God,
is one thing. So actually realizing that I am stressed, addressing it, and how to control it.
Yeah.
This is one thing that we can go at.
Absolutely. I mean, I used to say that all the time. I used to always say, I don't know what stress is.
Yeah.
I don't understand what stress is. And then when I stopped emotional eating, I understood exactly what stress is.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're
I
most
feel so
welcome.
light. Like this was a this was a refreshment to the journey that I'm actually in and actually being a lot more mindful about. Before we end this podcast, we have a new segment in our season 2, which is called as Unfiltered Sawal. So let me ask you a few rapid fire questions and you
Sure.
tell me the answers for it. The first thing I want, if you feel like snacking, what is the best snack for you for the 4 p.m.?
For me, I am a protein hog. Why? Because protein makes me feel full, and I love to feel full. So, 4 p.m. would be rice cakes. I love rice cakes, and maybe a chocolate peanut protein bar, or it would be my Galaxy Flute and a chocolate peanut protein bar, or a protein yogurt, let's say.
Okay. What do you prefer, morning workout or the evening workout?
Morning. I'm a morning
A fasted
person.
cardio, a fasted workout?
Most of the time, yeah. Most of the time, yeah. I do have electrolytes in the morning, but most of the time, I'll even lift weights fasted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is what I would do in my previous journey, and I think that's one of the best thing. I have the most energy, and
yeah,
I saw the results most. The
absolutely.
post learning. Okay, if do you read books?
I do.
Which is one book that really influenced you,
Um,
and that also helped you with your lifestyle, your weight loss journey? A book that you would recommend me or people who are watching.
oh, that's an amazing book. I would say a book that really, influenced me in a very positive way was Robin Sharma 5 a.m. Club. I've read that book multiple times, but the way he talks about habit formation and how you can create it in your lifestyle and how you also deserve rest. It doesn't have to just constantly be go, go, go. It's a book that really shaped my life for me. It really gave me routine. It really gave me structure. I would say that would be one of my top books.
I'm gonna buy it and read it right away. If there's one piece of final advice you would want to give somebody who is trying to lose weight, gain weight back, or any form of health journey, what would it be?
The one piece of advice I would give everyone is don't give up on yourself. Do not give up on yourself. I know at times it might feel like your weight loss is not going anywhere. Your relationship with food is not improving. It feels like your clothes are getting tighter. You're not able to fit into society. But no matter what it is, there is alternatives. There are options. There are ways that you can handle this. And the moment you can recognize that you're worth living for, that you can make a difference, your life is going to change.
Great. Thank you so much, Natassia, for
My
this episode.
pleasure.
I feel lighter, and I really like how, in just 1 hour of the podcast, you changed a lot of perception for me. How I ran away from emotional eating, how I did not trust myself. This is one thing that I really learned about
Yeah.
myself today, that I did not trust myself that I could do it, and how I looked down upon myself as well. And I'm sure, and also one more thing, that you should not shy away from getting help as from
Yeah.
a coach or a expert. This is one thing because usually people don't want to do that. They just go to the dietitian, get their diet, and that is sorted.
Yeah.
But there's more to that as well. Getting a help from a transformation coach, somebody who actually specializes in emotional eating, is to change your perception
Yeah.
more than just the diet, is absolutely needed.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much. Yeah, let's have episode 2 again, maybe soon once I
Absolutely.
transform a bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Thank you for
Thank
having me.
you. Thank you so much. Bye.